Okay, let's dive straight into this massive Chelsea story. João Pedro signing from Brighton. I mean, the numbers alone are pretty wild.
They really are.
It's a $60 million deal, right? And that makes him, what, the 18th forward they've signed under the current owners in just over 3 years?
That's right, the 18th.
And the total spend on attackers is $560 million. Just look at that and think, wow, are they just throwing money around hoping something sticks?
Well, it looks chaotic maybe from the outside.
Yeah. It makes you wonder why so many. And, I mean, the big question, how on earth are they affording all this?
Right, and that's where it gets interesting because beyond just the spending, this transfer of Pedro, it really shows off Chelsea's, let's say, audacious financial model. It's almost less like typical football transfers and more like a venture capital approach, investing in potential, high risk, maybe high reward.
All right, venture capital firm. Okay, so Pedro's the latest piece in that strategy.
Exactly. It points to a very, very specific plan they have.
Okay. Let's break down João Pedro himself first. Background. Came from Fluminense in Brazil, then Watford, then Brighton. 30 goals in 70 games there. Not bad at all.
No, solid record in the championship and then Premier League.
And he said all the right things, Big club, great history, must think one thing win. Standard stuff, but still.
Shows ambition, definitely.
And then there's the contract, 8 years, which, well, that used to be a bit of a financial trick, didn't it?
It did. That was the signature Chelsea move for a while. But importantly, the Premier League has closed that loophole now.
Right, the amortization one. So they can't spread the transfer cost over nearly a decade anymore to ease the yearly FFP hit.
Precisely. They still use long contracts, but the immediate financial benefit calculation has changed, which again shows how deliberate this all is, even with the rules tightening.
So back to my first question then. Why all the forwards? You're saying it's definitely a plan.
Absolutely. It's not random. It creates intense competition, particularly for those number 9 and 10 spots. Think about the movement. Nkunku is expected to leave. Gittins is coming in, likely replacing Sancho. You've got Delap challenging Jackson. Mudryk's got that provisional suspension, too.
Right, so there's planned churn.
Exactly. And while maybe Palmer is seen as untouchable right now, players like Matt Dwake, even Jackson, they could potentially be sold if a big offer came along. It's part of the model.
So even with 8 attackers for maybe 4 spots, they still feel they need more, especially for Europe.
Yeah, Champions League depth is key. So you might see youngsters, George, go out on loan, and they'll definitely look to sell exiled players, Sterling, Felix, Broja, if they can. Get those wages off the books.
Which brings us back to the money. It just seems relentless.
Yep.
$1.32 billion in initial fees over 7 windows, possibly $1.5 billion with add-ons, net spend over $1 billion.
Eye-watering figures. They're always near the top of the spending charts.
So how do they navigate the profit and sustainability rules, the PSR? What's the trick?
Well, it's multifaceted. Part of it is buying younger players, often on lower initial wages, signed to those long deals. The idea is clear. Find future stars, develop them, and sell others for profit. That's the asset growth model again.
Okay, but that doesn't cover everything, sure.
No. The really crucial bit, the controversial part, was that internal sale. They sold the women's team to their own parent company, Bluecown.
I remember hearing about that. How much was it?
$198.7 million. That single transaction gave them significant, let's call it headroom, under the PSR rules. It was an accounting move, basically, boosting reported revenue.
Wow.
Okay.
That's creative accounting.
Some would say ingenious, others might use different words. Plus, the extra revenue from being back in the Champions League and the Club World Cup run definitely helps balance the books, too.
Right. It's a complex financial picture. So let's focus back on Pedro. What does he bring on the pitch? Edu Rubio, former coach, thinks he's exactly what Chelsea need. Premier League tested, young, potential future profit. Ticks all the boxes for their strategy, right?
He does seem to fit the profile, yes. And tactically, especially for Maresca's system, he offers something specific. He's good at dropping deep, holding up the ball, linking the play, creating space for others. He gives them a consistent presence in that build-up phase, maybe more reliably than Jackson sometimes.
Okay, so a different kind of threat.
Yes. And his work rate off the ball, his physicality that fits Maresca's demands. And his stats aren't bad either. Penalties, assists, open play goals. He contributes across the board.
But I sense a but.
Well, the important question remains, doesn't it? His league goal tally, it hasn't gone past 11 in a season yet.
Yeah. That's not exactly elite striker numbers.
Exactly. Can he make that step up? Can he become a truly top player who delivers consistently in a Champions League team? That's the gamble Chelsea are taking.
So this deep dive really shows Chelsea's approach is this fascinating mix: tactical ambition, bold financial plays, and a whole lot of calculated risk.
It absolutely is. And it leaves us, and you listening, with a final thought to chew on. This strategy, high volume, high value, focusing on youth, future profit, what does it actually mean for the soul, the identity, the long-term stability of a massive club like Chelsea? How does this perhaps redefine what success even looks like in football today?